Hello everyone, it's Jay here from the Training Court podcast, a Pokemon TCG podcast bringing you anything and everything Pokemon TCG related. If you are looking for Pokemon TCG competitive decks ready to go, including GLC decks, please head over to pokedex4u.com. Pokedex4u has a variety of decks ready for sale, with each deck being fully customizable and bespoke to your needs. Use the code Training Court TCG for 5% off your first order. Now let's get on to the episode. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Training Court TCG podcast, the TCG podcast relating to anything and everything Pokemon TCG. Don't know what week we're on now. I think we're just going to ignore that from now on. Don't want to do episode numbers. I think it just makes me realize how...
It's 8.
No,
how many fingers on your hand?
It's just another episode. So another episode, another week. We're here talking about Pokemon TCG. As you've already can see, and here I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts Alex, Andy and Kath. Hello everyone.
Hello.
So another week, some more news, some more releases and some more games played. So I know for a fact that 3/4 of this podcast have definitely played in real life this week. So I'm gonna just to make it nice and easy. Alex, what have you been playing this week?
Well, actually, Andy and I played some TCG live, and you'll be seeing that we've just made a video of this these matches that we've been playing, which is, as of this podcast episode being released, it would have been released 2 days. So technically it came out today, which is Wednesday. By Friday, when this episode goes live, it will be out for 2 days. So hopefully lots of you have already watched it. And if you did, please make sure you like the video and also subscribe. But Andy and I, we randomized a bunch of decks. We put them into basically a roulette, and each round we just span, is that a word? We spun the roulette wheel, and whatever deck it landed on, we played. And it was actually a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think, do we want to spoil what the actual matches were? But there were some left field off kind of deck choices.
Yeah. Without spoiling the video in its entirety, obviously there's some meta decks, there's some meme decks. Alex, what was your favorite one to play?
My favorite one to play is actually Mewtwo Reunion. I keep coming back to it. I really wish I would have played it in Liverpool. I think it's the one that Sanders won from like months and months ago, where it actually plays Gengar from base set Scarlet Violet, to tank all the damage and just never.
Sword and Shield.
What did I say?
Scarlet Violet.
No. Yeah. I'm playing in the future.
You played
actually,
a card from the future.
Yeah. I'm actually playing an illegal deck, but the judges didn't catch me, so it's fine. But no, Gengar from base Sword and Shield can move all the damage counters around the psychic Pokemon, which would be amazing. Gardevoir EX, shame that he rotated. But I really enjoyed that deck. I also enjoyed the Rotom V-Star, but I'd matched up against you, played Regis, and just destroyed me. And you put a path down on turn 1, and I just couldn't find any of my stadium bumps and couldn't get it going. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, so you should watch the video if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely. It looks good, and hopefully we'll do some more in the future as well.
We will do, yeah.
We'll have some more new decks to add as well, obviously, going forward. So, Kath, Andy, what have you been playing this week?
Just pre-release on
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah. How did you find it overall?
It was good. Like, as good as any pre-release is. You know, you never have
Staples,
boss's orders or anything that makes the deck function. You just
I miss Marnie already.
Yeah. I got the Reverie Room, so just was burning through my deck with that every turn.
She had no cards left.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
What does Reverie do again? Discard and draw?
Discard an energy and draw up to 6.
Okay.
So it's like Radiant Greninja on steroids, but as long as you've got a small hand. Like if you've got 7 cards, it's useless.
It's like a stage 1 Crobat, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a discard.
With a discard ability. Okay, I mean, I think we're going to talk a bit more about the pre-release in a bit. But obviously, Andy, you and I went to 2 pre-release events. So how did you get on and what did you pull?
So Geek Retreat, I pulled a full art Caridon, a full art Professor's Research. Did you get the Jack?
I got the Jack and the Oincologne
Yeah.
and the full art Maridon
I got some.
and the gold energy.
Uh,
I did all right.
Yeah.
Pretty well, yeah. Did pretty well, yeah.
yeah, I think that was the best of my pulls.
Okay, and in terms of the decks and the pre-release promos,
Yeah, the promo I got was the Quaquavel, and the deck I built was that with the Palmot line, which that Palmot's pretty good, to be fair.
it
Just like
is
230 damage with energy acceleration.
yeah, both for 3 energy, but you've got to discard, haven't you? So you can burn through your energy unless you've got energy recycler. You burn for energy really fast.
So what does it do, the Palmer? So at 230 and you get to accelerate energy?
Discard. So its ability is it'd probably be a good Electrogenesis. Alex is going to put the card up here.
No, I'm not. Andy's editing.
Andy's going to put the card up there.
So Electrogenesis, you search your deck for is it the top 7 cards?
No, you just search for an energy in your deck.
Oh right, so it's got to be a lightning
per turn. A lightning energy once per turn,
yeah. And attach it to Palmer.
Do you think that's better than Fluffy? It is a stage 2, but do you think you would play that over Fluffy?
No, because you can only attach it to itself.
No, yeah.
Whereas Fluffy lets you move your Dynamo to let you move the cards around, doesn't it?
You could use that and then energy switch.
What's that? Is that an item?
Switch, yeah.
Is that a new card?
Yeah.
No,
it's
energy
been
switch
around.
isn't a new. It's reprint.
Do you mean Electro Generator or whatever it's called?
No, just energy switch. You can just switch an energy between the Pokemon. The other thing will be good is obviously EXP share is now back in the game. So if you attach it to another Pokemon, just send him up to die. It's a single prizer. All of a sudden, that 3 energy then goes to say Maridon. So I sat on the bench or Regieleki, VMAX, etc. So it's got some play. I did watch Tricky Jim Andrew Mahone's tabletop build and battle, and Heather, who is playing against, used the Palmer, and it hits so hard. It just 230. I mean, even EXs, can be hit at that range. The problem was she just burned through energy far too fast, and she didn't have it. Once you've used energy recycler, I know obviously you're playing 40 card deck, 4 card prizes, but you just burn through energy, and you need maybe like a training court to get that back. Or training court's gone. Training court's going. So yeah, it's difficult. And also the fact is that it's a stage 2.
What's the Paul Me and Palmo line? What are they? Do they just standard cards? They don't do anything.
I think one does 30 damage. I think Palmo or Paul Me does 30 damage, and then I think it attacks for 30, and then flip a coin if heads it paralyzes. So it's a stalling tactic, but it's not great. You really want to get the rare candy, don't you? And then evolve. Yeah. So and then what about we also went to Fanboy 3 in Manchester City Centre on Monday as well. So how did you get on there? What was the deck you got this time?
Again, it was the Quaxley and Pavilion. Yeah, I didn't do so well with that one.
I quite enjoyed the Pavilion.
I really enjoyed it.
That was in mine.
Yeah. What pre-release promo did you get, Andy? Sorry. Did you get a different one or
Holucha?
Okay.
Oh right, okay.
So we've got 3 of the 4 now.
Yeah, you've done quite well, haven't you? It's just the format, isn't it, that you need now?
Yeah.
It's so I same as Kath. I got the Pavilion line, but mine was mixed in with what was mine mixed in with? I want to say, I think it was originally Quaxley and Quaquavel. I mean, on Saturday at Geek Retreat, I pulled. It was a Holucha promo, which I put into my deck. But it's not that great in a pre-release format. So I probably shouldn't have put it in. And then I didn't do very well. I think with pre-release, it's more the fact is it's pure luck, isn't it? Really, you can literally not pull. Like, I mean, I literally came against someone, and I know for a fact he had 2 One-Colones, and EXs, so he had 2 big pigs, and I knew that going into that match, but he couldn't get anything else out apart from 1 basic, and I was able to knock him out. So, and it's pure random with pre-release. That's quite like it. It's chaotic almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but on the second time we went to Fanboy, I pulled the Quaquaval promo, and that was basically just a mix of Reveroom. So it was Reveroom inside the deck, and also Dondozo and Tatsuguri, which really hits hard. And then mixed with Quaquaval, which has the energy, I want to call it something circus.
Carnival.
Yeah.
Yep. Is it Energy Carnival?
Something like that.
Something like that. And that basically lets you just attach to energy from hand, and then again XP share, energy switch is a thing. You're able to get things lined up quite quickly, which is quite good. And
I
then
think
Dondozo.
the abilities as much as you'd like, I think, from hand, is it?
Well, it is Energy Carnival. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. And that is the pre-release promo. So, not my favorite. And then, unfortunately, I got another build and battle kit, and it was another Quaquaval. So, I need. I think we're doing a couple more videos, aren't we? We've got a couple more kits coming. So we'll be doing a couple more videos for you guys out there. I think we'll do some tabletop gameplay with the pre-release kits. So hopefully, well, by the time you hear this, hopefully we'll be getting the process of recording that for you guys, and hopefully I'll get a better. I need a better promo. But overall it was good. It was an interesting format. Obviously, the big thing for us is that the pack change. So by the time they release some of this video, we'll have another video whereby I'm opening a kit and showing you the pull rates. Overall, the pull rates seem pretty good, don't they?
you got some good hits.
Yeah. So obviously, Kath and Andy have mentioned what they've got. You pulled a gold card. You pulled a full art card. Pulled 2 full. I think you train a full art card as well. I think you got Professor's Research, which I think I mentioned on the video. So the pull rates are really good. I get like 1 EX. That's all I get, and that's all I did get. But I did.
You got 2 EXs, didn't you? Though you got 2.
No. So on the
video.
on the actually, sorry. I mean, actually, when I was competing, in store, I got 1 EX from Fanboy, and I did get Gold Maridon from EX from the prize pack, but that was later on. And then also a Geek Retreat, I got a gold red candy, which is a nice card, and then I think I got Tarantula full art. So, but around us there was people pulling alt arts, golds. It was obscene, wasn't it?
Full art Miriam.
That's apparently really expensive. Like, that's one of the most expensive cards in there.
We've seen it pulled twice now in Geek Retreat on Saturday, and then myself and Andy saw it on Fanboy. It was the kit.
He's interviewed by the MBA.
Well, true, yeah.
It's expensive during pre-release, but I mean, it goes without saying, like, to everyone, don't buy anything until after things release, because the prices tank.
No, definitely, yeah. I think prices. I do think that maybe the obviously the big change in the packs is there's now essentially 3 slots for hits, is there?
Yeah.
Or is it 2 slots? Well, there's 3 slots.
2 reverse.
2 reverse.
1 hollow.
Yeah, exactly. But in the reverse, you can get a pull from there as well.
Or like a trainer gallery or whatever it is in Illustrated.
Yeah.
For me, the gold card was in the second reverse slot.
So you can get rares in there, as well as the alternate arts as well. Yeah.
So, and then also there's no Patrick anymore. RIP the 4 cards to the back.
Yeah.
So you literally, once you've got the rare, you've got then the energy, then the code card. So you can now just open the pack and just basically just go through.
It's the end, yeah.
Obviously the big changes, every hollow in every pack as well. What do you guys think? Do you think it, obviously, sorry, Alex, I know this is a bit biased because you've not had a chance to open any yet, but obviously this is a big thing for us, a big thing for the format. What did you guys think in terms of how it felt knowing that there was always going to guaranteed a hollow in there? Because beforehand we used to have a hollow rare or better if it was a black border or a green code card or green and white code card. So do you reckon that it takes the shine and the value off the hollows, or do you reckon that they're just as nice still, or do you reckon we'll get bored of
No,
it?
I think it's nice to know that every pack that you open there's going to be something shiny.
Yeah.
There's going to be something that's interesting. There's nothing more disappointing than getting one pack and getting absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like, at least, there's going to be a little
At least something, yeah.
Kath did notice something, though, when we were watching Tricky Jim's video. His friend, Heather, is it?
No, it was all their code cards were white.
All right.
But our code cards were black. The border.
I'll have to go back and look at that. I wonder if they're just...
Maybe it's like different regions.
I wondered if it was like just the US.
Yeah, I've not even thought about that, because I have watched some UK openings and they're all black code cards, and obviously all the ones on pre-release were all black code cards as well. So that's interesting. I didn't even notice that, actually. Good eyes.
Well, you're always guaranteed a hit now. So
yeah, and then also the hollow pattern has changed, so that's a big difference. What do you guys think of that?
Well, the pattern was kind of before on the other cards. The pattern was kind of like, what was it, like these kind of symmetrical kind of arrows, I want to say.
Yeah, with the energy type inside.
Like chevrons, weren't they? Like
yeah, chevron kind of thing.
Like the wallpaper.
But you know what? Like I buy mostly singles, and because I'm catching up with since Astra. But I think that because whenever I get a single and it's a reverse or a hollow, like they bend so much, they warp so much, or I put them in a box and like I try and pack them tight so they kind of keep their shape. But like I've got some cards that even I've just pulled out my packs and then just put them in a sleeve, and they're like that. Whereas the non-hollow ones are just pure, like perfectly straight and fine.
And that only started though late on towards the format. That only started like Lost Origins or Astral Radiance when they started like curling up.
Probably when they started pumping out cards faster than
cheaper
quality check.
Probably the quality, the quality went down as well, realistically.
Yeah, so many like miscuts, print lines, off center.
There's a group on Facebook called Misprint. There's a misprint group on Facebook that deals purely, for people collecting misprints, and I tell you what, there wasn't there's many back in the day. They were quite rare, and they are still quite rare, but they were quite significant. You see some really interesting ones, but now everything's miscut. There's no, I don't think a miscut, unless it's or an OC, they call it an OC grade, is ever going to really. I think they're normal now. They're the norm compared to Wizard of the Coast days or early Nintendo days. Quality again, but that's just like Cass said. Is it the fact that they're pumping out such high numbers of them? The craze is definitely it peaked. I'd say it definitely peaked during COVID, but it's not really gone down, to be honest. Just look at us, how we struggle to get into EUIC. So the competitive seed hasn't died, and whilst there's more products available, they're still absolutely pumping out these numbers, and they're selling the stuff. So so for our watchers out there on YouTube, this is the pattern that Alex was referencing. So that is the kind of the chevron, so you can see obviously the lightning effect, and this is the new one from the Scarlet and Violet. So it's almost, I would say, more mosaic, almost Mediterranean, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which then, to be honest, it goes with the aesthetic of Paldea. So yeah, it felt nice to look at, and obviously the big difference, as you can see, we have silver borders. So obviously not on the reverse.
Grey borders.
Not on the reverse. That wasn't a very good. That wasn't a good example.
Silver.
That so
on the hollow with the silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always thought that the reverse hollows for the normal type Pokemon always looked the best, because they kind of like had this silver shine, whereas the other ones were kind of like, they were still nice, but I always thought that the normal type hollows would look nicer. So anyway, sorry, Jay, cut you off.
No worries at all. So obviously we've opened a bit, and the one thing that we noticed when we were opening is the cards felt a bit, I'm not going to say flimsier. They didn't feel as, I don't know, substantial. And also, I think the thing that not annoyed me the most, but when you look at something like the EX cards, so I have an EX card. I got Toxicroak EX. You can see the pattern on it, but the defining factor of all the old Pokemon cards, when you got a V or a V Max, was it had texture on it, and it always has a nice texture. So you can have. So I've just got the two examples here. So again, hopefully you can see it on the camera. So when you look at the Miraidon EX, the gold card. Oh, there you go. No, yeah, you can hopefully see. Take it back a bit, get a bit focused.
Yeah.
You can see some of the texture on it. Again, that's probably not the best pick, but you can see some elements of texture on it. And the same with all the gold cards. Toxicroak EX just has no texture whatsoever. I said it actually looks like and feels like the fake proxies that you get for Vs and V stars from Etsy and eBay and AliExpress and Wish.com and the Amazon. For a franchise, I mean, the art's amazing. We know the art's amazing, and it's very playable. But for a franchise of its size, and it's the biggest TCG in the world, I believe, surely it should be a bit better.
They're different as well in Japan. They're more shiny.
They've got stars and things.
You can see the stars because it's a dark card. You can't see it that well.
When you came on with that Gardevoir and you were like, it's got nothing on it, so then you have to hold it at a very specific angle in a certain light, and you can see the little stars on the card.
It just looks like it's in a penny sleeve. It's got a bit of gloss on it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's an image doing the rounds, isn't there, on social media at the moment?
Yeah,
I think we shared it. I think Vandy can show it in the podcast. It shows massive difference.
Yeah.
Why are we so? I mean, it's nice that we're now getting the grey borders, silver borders, the grey borders.
1 step forwards and then 3 steps forward for Japan.
We're slowly getting towards Japan, and they have obviously a high quality level of the product. Why are we so lacking? Why are we so behind?
It's because it's a Japanese company, and they do things first there, and then we get it later.
Wouldn't it make more sense cost-wise as well, just to make everything the same?
Uniformed, yeah.
I know it's probably 2 separate print companies, but if you use the same stock, then
I wonder if they outsource it to certain print companies. Then,
well, they're using Vistaprint.
They've just bought another print company, haven't they? Last year.
So they're buying. Right, of course they have. Yeah, so they're buying these print companies in and then keeping them in house rather than just outsourcing. But again, they've probably got no quality, control over the quality, which we've seen is horrendous.
It's probably some guy in his basement with his HP printer banging on his printer. Come on, cutting them out himself with it.
Running to the shop, running to Staples because he's run out of magenta. But yeah, I mean it's nice. I was really excited for pre-release, and I'm still excited for the new format because it's fresh, something new. But a little bit disappointed about the quality of the cards. But I am impressed with the pulls. If all the packs that were going around were from a booster box, we've got a couple booster boxes coming, we've got some ETBs coming, so we'll obviously be pumping out lots of content, showing you all our pulls that we get. But it just took the gloss off it. but it is what it is. So in terms of play wise, because we're predominantly a competitive TCG podcast, we've had some new cards. We've had a lot of new cards, some of the new Pokemon, but predominantly we had a lot of new trainers. So any that stood out for you that you were really impressed with from the pre-release event, Andy? Sorry, Alex. you can join in next week.
All of them.
Jack was pretty useful when you've got the Pavilion line, because you just get the 2 that you need and then you revolve up on your first turn.
Yeah.
It's essentially evolution. I think I said in the video, the opening in the video, it's evolution incense on steroids, with the downside that it's a supporter for the turn.
Yeah.
But at least there's no flip a coin or anything.
Yeah.
So it's a certainty.
I thought Mezagoza was good for that as well. Just flip a coin, get a Pokemon. It's like I was just everyone I've rolled for that was a heads. I can't remember who I played. Was it can't remember who I played, but they were like, "How are you rolling heads every turn?"
I don't know. I was getting all your for every head you got, I got tails. I had Mezagoza, Pokeballs every time, getting tails.
You were sat in the same seat as well. I must have left the
bad juju. Yeah, that Mesagoza was really good. It helped you if you were stuck, it helped you, didn't it? You know, as long as you got heads, you had a 50% chance.
Oh, you didn't get that Pokemon. It was like, oh, right, we can try again.
Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet lost me a game.
Did it?
Because I didn't see it. I didn't see her attach it.
Okay.
Obviously, she did because it was there. And I had 20 HP left. I was like, I'll attack. And then she was like, and you knocked out? I was like,
yeah. I was the same. I attacked someone. I attacked someone.
Well, I didn't see the card. The problem was, it's not reading the card. I didn't see it.
Okay. It is annoying, that one. It's I thought XP share, I know we've mentioned it before. That's back. That's quite good.
Yeah.
And it's a card I've never really used before.
That'd be pretty useless, but in the pre-release format, it's actually all right.
I think that's a prime candidate for going into Clefairy.
Yeah.
For EXP shares.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Miriam.
Did anyone play with the beach court?
Not many people were given it.
Couple, but I didn't use it.
I think a lot of people with the Pawmat line didn't need it because Pawmat had free retreat.
It
wasn't. Yeah.
Did I use it? Yes. Yeah, I did use it. I put it in there just to have it in there, I think. Not any really useful. Old Dondozo's got like 4 retreat costs, so I was never.
Yeah, he was going nowhere. He was going nowhere. Another one for me was Miriam. I think Miriam was really good, especially if you've got stage 2 Pokemon and they get knocked out. Miriam lets you put 5 Pokemon from your discard back into your deck, and if you do that, you get to draw 3 cards as well. So beautiful artwork. The secret art rare is beautiful, is expensive, and it's also an incredibly playable card. So that was really good. So it's going to be interesting because I think I got judged at one point, and I was like, "What? Why are you judging me?" And I was like, "How did you get that?" And he pulled it. It's been reprinted. I completely forgot, and I just didn't expect it. There's no Marnie. The Professor's research was still there. No Marnie was a big killer, wasn't it? Really, I remember during Brilliant Stars with Roxanne.
You
just
still Roxanne. There is still Roxanne.
There's still Roxanne, yeah. But do you know Brilliant Stars? Was that when Roxanne came out?
Astral
Radiance. The pre-release event of that, literally, you had to lose one. What you had to do was lose one prize, so you play with 4 prize cards anyway. Exactly. Lose one prize card, and you're like, boom.
I always used to play it. Do you know if you played Sudden Death? There's one prize card. Roxanne.
Roxanne. It's a good way to win if you put it on. But I think overall pre-release was a really successful time. It's obviously always a chaotic time. I think I won by someone decking out. I lost by having just one active and couldn't bump anything. There's no meta to it, but it's fun and it's an enjoyable. I think it's enjoyable way to play. And Al, you'll definitely have to come back and play one sometime soon because it's really fun experience and a fun event. So what we thought we'd do is
the Tempest pre-release.
No, I've always come back either the tail end of a set or the beginning of a set or the middle of a set, and never come back for a pre-release.
You definitely have to in the future for potentially Paldea Evolved or whatever's coming after. So, but I think we had a lot of fun doing pre-release. It's an interesting way of looking at the cards, using cards that you're never going to really use again. Like Pavilion, everyone was like, it's so good, but it's good in GLC and pre-release, but you're not going to run it in a deck really, because you're going to have that space for for other Pokemon. So. But obviously, I think we are looking at recording some more content for you guys with regards to opening some more build and battle kits and actually building them and battling them on camera for you. So obviously, we'll release that as soon as possible and let you know how that goes. How that goes, guys. Got there in the end.
How those guys go.
Well, you would know. So then moving on, there's also we did reference last week in relation to some sets that the Pokemon Company had actually trademarked. However, we hadn't, no concept of what they were, what they're going to be. We were obviously, I think we knew it was Dark Charizard. I think, was that correct? I want to say, but
yeah.
We discussed obviously that, but it's actually officially been revealed. So Snow Hazard and Clay Burst have now been officially revealed as the second main set in the Scarlet and Violet series. It's going to be released in April 14th in Japan, and it features it features the legendary Pokemon post campaign on the Scarlet and Violet. So it's I'm going to probably butcher the pronunciation of this. Chien-Pao and Ting-Lu. So they're the Pokemon of Ruin, are they? So Chien-Pao is it's almost like the saber-tooth tiger one with the swords.
Like a snow leopard, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I love that one. And then Ting-Lu is the Earth moose with a big bowl on his head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not selling it very well, but obviously it's nice. Yeah.
Which EU looks really good actually as an energy accelerant.
Well, that's it. So obviously they've announced some of the cards going to be there. So they have obviously announced Chien-Pao, which is a water type Pokemon. Basic, not a Terra type. The ability is Trembling Cold. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic water energy, reveal them, and put them in your hand. And then for 2 water energy, Hail Blizzard, 60 time damage, and discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each card you discarded this way. So that linked with obviously water decks, becoming quite prevalent. You've got Melanie still, Palkia.
Putting in ability.
Yeah, basically, yeah, which is really, really good. I think it looks great. But then also, if you think, like I said, you put it with Palkia, you've got Melanie still. You've got Kyurem still. Kyurem V and VMAX are still around. And then obviously you've got Quaquaval if you want to go down that way and down that line as well. It can hit hard. It can hit hard. And it also isn't discard from that Pokemon. It's from discard from any of your Pokemon. So I think that'll be quite good. Some of the other Pokemon that have been released are there's the Frigibax line. So the Frigibax, Arctibax, and Baxcalibur. Again, another new Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet. Again, I quite like this Pokemon in the game.
Which one's this, sorry?
The Ice Dragon. Do you want me to share my screen? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Because I've not got the.
It's preferable to be fair.
I've not got the Sky Cat. But yes, you've obviously got the Frigibax. Do you remember that Pokemon now, Al? It's the Ice Dragon.
Frigibax.
Yeah, it's a Baxcalibur, but the original
Baxcalibur.
The stage 2 is called Baxcalibur.
Right.
No, the basic. It's Frigibax. Then the stage 1 is Arctibax, yeah, and the Baxcalibur is stage 2. Sorry, yeah.
I have played the game.
It's been a long day. So again, this one, I think it looks cool. I like this one in the game as well. Obviously, it's stage 2 Pokemon, 160 HP. The ability, Absolute Zero, as often as you like during your... I can't get rid of it now. There we go. Ability, Absolute Zero, as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. And then for 3 energy, 2 water, 1 colorless, Buster Tail, 130 damage. So again, if you can get that linked with Chien-Pao, so if you get 2 Pokemon, if you get Chien-Pao and uses Trembling Cold ability, get 2 water in your hand, and then you use Melanie, and then you use say if you want Palkia. Palkia, and then also if you use Baxcalibur's ability Absolute Zero, I mean that is how many is that? That's 1 for attach for turn, 1 for Melanie, 3 for Palkia.
Palkia needs 2.
Yeah. It's obscene.
And then obviously you just play rare candies because you don't really need.
I think rare candy is going to be a staple for a lot of decks now.
Yeah.
A lot of really useful stage 2s, a lot of really good stage 2s. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like water's back on the menu. But obviously we still have Miraidon, so you've got
plenty of electric
deck, obviously still going.
But that's an ice Pokemon, is it? What's it weak to?
Weak
is it steel?
To steel. It is weak to steel. Metal, if you want to. Yeah. Same with Baxcalibur as well. Actually, to be fair, so it's more what I was talking about from the Palkia side of things. Really, Palkia is obviously weak to lightning. But yeah, so we've got the water line. Then we also have Chi-Yu, which is again that was one of the legendary Pokemon of Ruin. It's the fish. To be honest, I never really used any of them in the game. I just caught.
I never caught any.
I think they were for legendaries. I think they were a bit meh.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's some.
Except for the ice one, that was cool, but.
Yeah, I think he was the coolest of the lot. But yeah, overall, I think hopefully in the DLCs there's a lot better ones out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Chi-Yu.
Okie dokie.
What's that?
What are they called? What are they like? What I'm sure one's called Okie.
Okie dokie.
Something like that, yeah. I'm sure it is actually. Or is that they are the legendary Pokemon. The 3 legendary Pokemon for the mask. The mask again. We do know Pokemon, I promise. There's just a lot of new names.
The teal mask, is it?
The teal mask.
Am I right? Teal mask and the.
Oh yeah.
I knew there's something circular.
One of them's called Okie dokie, I'm sure.
The teal mask, yep.
Legendaries.
Introducing Okie Dogie.
Okie dokie.
Monkey Dory and Fezandipity. I quite like the names.
Yeah.
I like Fezandipity.
But it's meant to be like Okie dokie, hunky dory.
Yeah.
Serendipity.
And Serendipity, yeah. And then there's obviously loads of okay. But back to Chi-Yu EX. Back to Chi-Yu EX. He is a basic Pokemon. Quite small HP for an EX, 190. 1 fire energy, burning envy, discard 2 cards off the top of your opponent's deck. And then for 2 fire energy, 100 damage, flame surge. Choose up to 3 of your bench Pokemon. Search your deck for basic. It says fire energy.
So I think it's Ruby. I think they call it Ruby. Yeah.
Fire energy, yeah. And attach 1 to each of these Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So again, a good energy accelerant. But I don't see. I think fire's.
There's not much
quite weak, isn't it? Fire is quite weak.
It's not been good for a long time, really, is it?
Considering how water is so strong, still.
Yeah.
And then we've got Tinglu, who is a fighting Pokemon. Again, this is the moose with a bowl on his head. It looks almost like looks like the crater of the last giant from Elden Ring. Do you remember when you had to run around it? Right at the end.
I've got to the end.
Oh yeah. Big cauldron, yeah.
Spoiler, it's a big cauldron. Anyway, so Tinglu EX is a fighting Pokemon, 240 HP, ability Curse Ground. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon with damage counters on them have no abilities. So that'd be quite good for something. Again, link that with Horlucha, who can then obviously put the damage counters on. So it's quite good. And then for 3 fighting energy, Land Scoop, 150 damage, but put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So again, allowing to that ability to really spread around. I do like fighting. I think it's just it's quite a shame. It's quite niche. Yeah. I think the big difference with this one is the weakness for this one is grass.
Yeah.
As opposed to psychic. So there's not much grass out there.
There's a lot of cards that will be in this format that have the ability to turn off other abilities. Klefki, this, Empoleon. Like, what is the order of if this is in the active and Empoleon's in the active, or Klefki's in the active,
whoever was there first.
But what if one gets knocked out? Well, if there are any judges listening, tell us how it all works.
So if they're both in the active, then the abilities are turned off for both of them.
But because you want the opponent's abilities to be turned off, but not your own, Klefki turns off all abilities for both opponents. Basic, and that one turns off all abilities with damage counters on for Pokemon except EX.
So in that situation, because that's a basic, right?
Yeah.
then that's turned off.
But if Klefki's got damage counters on, then is Klefki turned off and your Pokemon are okay?
Well, if Klefki goes first, then yes, yeah, and there wouldn't be any damage counters on first turn anyway, would there?
Yeah, it's whoever goes first, I guess.
Some more EX cards being announced. So Squawkabilly EX again. I just put that up for the artwork. I quite like the artworks of these EXs. To be fair,
yeah.
They're quite good. Again, colorless energy. So colorless Pokemon. We've got 160 HP. Ability Lively Draw. On your first turn of the game, you may discard your hand to draw 6 cards. You can't use more than 1 Lively Draw ability during your turn. And then for 1 colorless energy, 20 damage, and attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. Again, playable, but are you going to use it? 160, is it 160 HP for a two prizer? It's a bit risky. And whilst the ability's okay, yeah, it's too risky. I think the ability's okay. And I think the attack's quite good for the energy, obviously recoverability, but realistically, is it very unlikely to be honest to play that. So so again, some EXs, some more EXs also got announced. So we've got some more cards.
Wait, just before you go onto this, just on that point that you just picked up about that you like the look of the EX cards. Do you not miss how these were, where they were technically they were all kind of full arts, where it was just the whole card was art. These are, I know there's the art on the entire card with like the little design and the little green things coming out, but it's still kind of contained to the little square above the attacks and the abilities. Do you
think it does faintly extend into the text?
It does, yeah. It extends into the text, kind of like how the Amazing Rares kind of did. But I don't know. Do you prefer them full?
I think these definitely improved towards the end of their life cycle. Like if you look at something like Raikou V, if you look at the Lugia V, if you look at Ho-Ohs, if you look at them compared to the original ones, they're a lot better. I just I think there's more vibrancy with the EX cards, and that's what I'm looking forward to more. Because like no matter what card it was, just for example, I said Raikou. I meant actually Luxray, but Raikou is still a good card as well. But if you get a Luxray, it was still a black card with Luxray on it and a bit of lightning. Whereas when you look at these cards, they actually match the actual type. So, for example, Gyarados,
they're styled more like normal Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Vs and VMAXs, they were always the same. And I understand that's because essentially Vs and VMAXs were the kind of like Dynamax in Sword and Shield. They were in the raid dens. So I get that. I do get that. But I like, to me, I like the vibrancy of the new cards. So that's my opinion.
I'm kind of on the fence. I did like the how the Vs looked, and I'm not 100% sure with these yet.
Yeah, if you look, for example, look at Luxray V.
I actually really like Luxray V. I know you use this as an example, but I actually really like this design.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That all of a sudden, sorry, trying to get a bigger picture. That all of a sudden, that's an anomaly because the very rare did that, but that looked good. But the outline was always black. It was always kind of dark.
It's always has been black,
yeah. And then you look at again, Mr. Galarian, Mr. Rhyme. So you do have some at the back, but then some of them were pretty poor, I thought, as well. Some of them were just lacking imagination. I actually think the full
I never really liked the full arts, to be honest.
So I'm not a fan of the full arts, to be honest. That I mean, to me, that is 10 times better. And then same with the Raikou. But obviously, I think we're massively spoiled with regards to cards now. When you look at the trainer galleries and the art rares now we've got, I mean, some of them are phenomenal. Just going back just to look at some of the art rares that are going to be out in this set. You've got Raikou. Look at that for a card.
That's Raichu.
Raichu. Sorry, Raichu.
And what does it do? Hold on. 200 damage. That is a nice card.
Yeah, Rella. Is that Rella or
that's Rabska? That's its evolution. Look at that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think the artwork is just second to none, and I think this is Dudunsparce, which again, you look at that.
That's a nice card. Yeah,
that's a really good. You got a Flapple there. You've got the Moongoose, the Dene. I think these cards. I think they're fantastic. I think the art rares are fantastic.
Donzo is pretty good as well.
Donzo. That is one of my that's one of my chase cards of the set. I do want the Donzo. It's fantastic. This is Mousehold. I just think the cards just are phenomenal. And I think we're completely spoilt now. In regards to that.
Even the basic cards, like the baby cards, like a lot of them, the art is really nice.
Yeah, just going back to Chi Yu, obviously looking at the art of that, I know obviously that's just the Pokemon there, and I know what you're saying, but the whole thing around it, I just think it's a lot more vibrant.
It is extended, yeah. You can tell the EXs are a bit more arty, but yeah.
But that's not a Terra type as well, because the Terra types have even more, I believe. So yeah, obviously talking of Terra types.
That's a Terra type, isn't it?
This is a Terra type. This is Forretress EX. Again, stage 1 Pokemon. So this is again coming from the same set, Snow Hazard and Clay Burst. So this is a grass Terra type. Ability, explosive energy. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 basic grass energy cards, attach them to your Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck. If you search your deck for this in this way, this Pokemon is knocked out.
That's crazy.
It's kind of like Voltorb and Electro, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was only one prize. This is 2 prizes, isn't it?
This is 2 prizes.
Yeah.
Gets you set up though. Gets you set up 5 energy.
Yeah, but you get
anywhere.
Yeah, and 2 prize penalty.
But imagine if you're gonna like die the next turn anyway. Like if you had 10 HP left, you'd just do that, wouldn't you? Surely. I wonder. It doesn't mention though. Does it end your turn? It doesn't end your turn because it's no.
No, it won't.
It just means they're able to take 2 prizes.
But what if you're about to die and you use this and then die and then bring up another Pokemon? You've given up 2 prizes. What if the next Pokemon gets knocked out and then you do 2 other prizes? It's 4 prizes in one turn.
It probably is going to get knocked out, but at least you've got energy acceleration, so you can.
No, what I'm saying is you
knock the Pokemon that you promote.
Yeah, the Pokemon you promote also gets knocked out.
You're pretty screwed.
You're screwed.
You wouldn't probably do that ability. You wouldn't use that ability then. You'd probably hold back.
Well, what's the point? What's the point?
Because
use it.
I still think that you.
I don't like it.
I think it's playable. I think it's playable. I think it's quite good. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to change the meta, but I think it'd be. I think I just think imagine if you're in a bit of a position and you're struggling, you're really struggling for energy, and you've got no.
You're struggling. I don't want to give up 2 prizes. I'm struggling. Here's 2 prizes.
There's a card that like
2 prizes to take out of a VMAX though. If you need loads of energy, say for example, if you give up 2 prizes to take out a 3 prizer.
If there's a card that reduces prizes, like Hero Medal for EXs, then that'd be all right. But I don't.
It's a steep cost, but we'll just have to see really. But there's also got the guard press attack for 120 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage. Again, 270, relatively tanky.
Stage 2, is it? Or
it is stage 1, so it involves some Pineco.
If it said your Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent only takes 1 prize card, that would be really good.
I think there's got to be a reason they've printed it this way. So
they just got to give. Sometimes they just got to give us a crap card, and that's what they've done.
And then 3 sets down the line, it'll be broken.
Yeah.
They'll be like something in the future.
There'll be something like during your turn, your opponent can't take any prize cards or something.
Yeah. That would be broken. Jesus Christ, that would be so broken.
There's also another EX coming in the same set. So one of my favorite Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet, to be fair, Annihilate EX.
Yeah.
For it is a stage 2. A hell of a chunky boy. 320 damage HP. For 1 fighting energy, Angry Grudge. 20 damage. Put up to 12 damage counters on this Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter you place in this way. And then for a fighting and colorless, Seismic Toss, just 150 damage.
Why did you not give him Rage Fist?
Yeah, but they'll be
Angry Grudge is kind of
I suppose,
yeah. They'll have a Rage Fist version for sure.
And then we get our EX version of Miltank. So we get Mimikyu. So a basic Pokemon, 70 HP, ability Safeguard, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. And for a Psychic and colorless, it's Ghost Eye. Put 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. So we get this version's.
I quite like this
Miltank deck. Well, one of Andy's favorite Pokemon is Mimikyu, so I wouldn't.
This is basically a better Miltank, Like you don't have to rely on the bench, and it's still a basic. It's got less HP, I suppose.
It's
It
got
does less damage,
substantially less HP, and it doesn't do as much damage, but still, yeah.
But you can tag EX, which Miltank can't.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why they've printed it. But I think the big talking point that's been on social media and specifically on online in all the TCG groups is a couple of trainers cards that are coming back in this set. So Super Odd is back. So shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard pile back into your deck. We've also got Charm of Courage. Pokemon Tool, basic Pokemon this card attached to gets 50 HP. So that is essentially Cape of Toughness for basic Cape of Toughness. So I don't know why they didn't reprint Cape of Toughness, but a Charm of Courage. But I believe charms are quite important, obviously in the Pokemon game. So I think they're just going back to that. We've also got another supporter, Grusha. Draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. If you have no energy cards attached to any of your Pokemon, draw up to 7 instead. But the biggie, Iono. So this basically is a mix of N and Marnie. So Iono, each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck, a la Marnie. Then each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards, a la N. So it's basically, I think what was it's basically Marnie and N mixed together in one lump sum. And Roxanne, yeah. Why Roxanne? Sorry.
Because if they've only got 2 prizes left,
well,
yeah, but
you've got 6.
If they've only got 2 and you've got 6, then you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, I like it, Andy, but I like the effort. But this is going to be a lot of people are really, really happy. This kind of card is back, mixing the Marnie and the N. N was an absolutely busted card back in Sun and Moon. I think it was before Sun and Moon. That shows my knowledge. Unfortunately,
white, I want to say.
I know.
Why was it
obviously black and white.
I wasn't playing during this time. What made it busted?
It was just a really good late game. Really good late game. Like Andy said, if you had less prize cards, your opponent is screwed. If they've got a really big hand, you play N, and all it did was you basically made them draw cards up to how many prize cards they had. So if you had a really bad, start, but your opponent was, storming ahead, it could stop them. Like Roxanne in an element, in a way, obviously. But if
you want to disrupt late game, and you use this and say late game, like realistically, you say you have 2 prize cards left each. That's late game, and you just put them in the bottom of your deck, and then you just both draw 2. It doesn't. I don't see how that is good for you to draw 2 unless you've got nothing in your hand, I suppose. But at late game, you're probably
if you're already set up, then you don't need anything else.
Good against Lost Box, I suppose. Like good against Lost Box.
I also think, if you, for example, have 3 prize cards and your opponent has 2, and they have a big hand, all of a sudden you can disrupt them. You can use this. Put whatever cards they had in your hand at the bottom of the deck, and they draw 2. You draw 3. You could only have 1 card. This could be your only card in your hand. All of a sudden, you're drawing up to 3. I think it'll be very playable. I think it'll be very good. I also think this is probably on course to be one of the most expensive cards ever printed. I think this is going to be ultimate waifu material for the special art. Yeah, I think the full art and the special art rare are going to be obscene for this, and it's going to be it's going to be a chase card for a lot of waifu chasers. But it's good to see these cards. I mean, I know it's cool seeing these kind of cards coming back now. We never experienced N, we experienced Marnie, so having a mix of 2, I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. And also I am looking forward to Super Rod coming back. So that's going to be cool because obviously Ordinary Rod's gone, so we are getting these cards back again. So it's just taking its time, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all evolves. So I think that's kind of what we're moving towards the end of the podcast this week. We've obviously discussed some obviously our pre-release events. We're obviously going to record some more content for you guys and release it. We've got videos coming out nearly every day at the moment, it feels like. Yeah, we obviously look forward to discussing more of the meta changes, especially when by the time this episode comes out, we'll be 1 week away from Scarlet and Violet actual release. So really excited, looking forward to getting some packs and opening them up again, because there's just nothing matches that feeling. Okay guys, so I think we'll move on to our next segment, which is RTFC, and I'm going to take it this week again. I think I took it last week, I'm taking it again this week because of a mishap that was noted in one of our videos. So in our tabletop gameplay, it was noted that I took a Gardevoir EX off a fog crystal, which means that I did not RTFC, because I can see everyone shaking their heads. I'm not going to look at them. So, if I had RTFC'd the card, it basically says that I can search my deck for a Psychic Energy or a basic Psychic Pokemon, and put it in my hand, then shuffle my deck. Now, I didn't read that. I thought it was Psychic Pokemon, because I've not really ran a Psychic deck in the past. So I have now RTFC'd, and I apologize for the confusion it made. I think I lost that match regardless, or it's irrelevant anyway. I have RTFC'd, and I have also bought some frog crystals to make sure I know what it says.
There'll be a YouTube video put out with the title "I'm sorry, Jay's face."
An apology. Yes,
yeah. That's a great thumbnail.
But I want to obviously thank everyone for watching that video, and also thank everyone for commenting on it, advising of my error. So I do apologize.
We're just testing you.
That's it.
But you know what, actually, when I play on live and I use Fog Crystal, I didn't read the card, because I always think, why can't I get I've chosen this Pokemon, why can't I get energy as well? I always thought there was energy and
not a reader.
No, we don't read. We just play.
Well, yeah, that's it. So again, I want to thank everyone again for watching the video, and we will make sure that the judge is there and stays there for the entire match this time as well.
We can't promise no mistakes will be made.
No, we cannot.
We can promise that there will be mistakes made, basically.
But honestly, thank you everyone for watching that video.
At least we know people are paying attention if they're catching.
That's
what I said.
Just
testing them.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to say thank you for everyone for watching and listening. And that is the end of the podcast, I think, this week. I want to thank my fantastic co-host again for joining me and talking Pokemon on again. So how about we do it again next week, eh?
Maybe.
Upcoming this week, we also do have another regionals to watch. So there's a regionals over at the Charlotte Convention Center in North Carolina this week. So we wish everyone who's competing good luck, and we're looking forward to watching it, and we'll obviously discuss the results. I'm going to guess that I can guess probably the top 8 decks.
6 Lugias, 2 Lost Bucks.
There was also a special event this week.
So we've not even talked about Utrecht, have we? We haven't even talked about Utrecht. Do you want to talk about it now?
Very quickly, the top 6 decks were, I think, 3 Lost Box, 2 Gudra, and 1 Lugia.
Lugia is always there.
People are getting ready for post-rotation, aren't they? Because Lost Box seems to be still pretty good.
Just having a quick look at the results. Special event in Utrecht. We know a lot of people who went there as well, actually. There's just under 700 people competed. Nico Alabas won. He won with Arcdura, which is an interesting deck, actually. So that must have been purely for, obviously, all the Lugia plays out there. But you had Stefan Iverhoff in third, playing Gudra. The second deck was Gudra as well. Lugia. There was an interesting one, actually, an Arcanteleon Beedrill came fifth.
I played a little bit of that with Mustard, Colonel Mustard in the drawing room with the with a spanner.
You've got and then we've got a couple of Mews and some Gudras, etc. So it was good. It was a really, really good. Looks like a good tournament. A lot of of the top competitors in the European scene were there. Obviously, I mentioned Stefan. Obviously, Tord did quite well as well. We also had Andre Skubal, the world champion. He came in the top 25. And then obviously my old opponent from Liverpool, Owen Cameraman, he also came in the top 30 as well. So yeah, we didn't really get a chance to speak about it too much, but we have obviously spoken to quite a few people in the competitive scene. Overall, it was a really, really positive experience. The general feedback from it I actually had from people who went was the space. It was a really big arena, and it had loads of space, so people weren't all cramped up. And it was ran really well. So there's hopes that they continue still running these special events and expand it even more. So yeah, sorry for missing that. And yeah, we will definitely make sure we talk about Charlotte Regionals next week. We will not miss that out. But again, I want to thank you all again for listening. I want to also thank our sponsor of this episode, so PokédexForYou.com. Again, if you go to PokédexForYou.com and type in the voucher code Training Court TCG, you get 5% off your order. Again, thanks to Sam over at Pokédex for sponsoring us and being a big advocate of ours. Also want to thank each and every one of you for listening. If you want to listen to us and see more content, we obviously release every week on YouTube. We're releasing a lot more content as well. We're obviously always listening for advice, listening for ideas, what you want to play, what you want us to play, what you want us to show. We're doing openings, tabletops, we're doing TCG live, so lots of Pokemon content coming your way. So the best way to always keep in touch with us is to follow us on and like and subscribe on YouTube, so the Training Court TCG on YouTube. We've also got our Twitter channel, which is at Training Court TCG. You can also listen to us on Spotify and iTunes podcasts by just looking and searching for the Training Court TCG. And then we also have our Instagram account, which is at Training Court TCG as well. I think I've done all that. I think Podbean as well, if you do want to do that, but no pressures. So again, thank you everyone for for listening, and hope you all enjoy it, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.